Good afternoon, collectors and friends, and welcome to Trading Card Therapy, episode number 35. This is your host, the Doctor. We have some exciting stuff to discuss today. We are going to jump right into it. First, I wanted to thank Antonio from our Vintage Breaks community, who has now successfully referred us two different collections. And for those of you who have not worked with us before on the Just Collect side of things, I am the owner and proprietor of Just Collect. We have a store now here in Millburn, New Jersey. And when we buy collections, sometimes folks just find us on the internet by Googling, how do I sell my baseball cards? Other times, people will refer us leads and say, hey, I've worked with these folks before, or I think Leighton's a real handsome fella. You should talk to him. Shameless plug, of course. But anyway, so we do love referrals, and when we can close that deal or purchase and tie that back to someone who's referred it to us, we will indeed pay finder's fees. So Antonio, from our Vintage Breaks community, and for those of you who don't know our Vintage Breaks company, we've been breaking for nearly 5 years, and we break tons of vintage packs and boxes, some select modern boxes and packs, and then a whole slew of vintage set breaks, hit randoms, so on and so forth. What's going on, Harry, Nick, Tom? Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed today's show. And Tom and Nick are actually very familiar with Antonio. And so this collection, we're about to show off some of the highlights of today here on Trading Card Therapy, is a Yankee collection, I believe. The family hails from the Northeast. And when it came to us, it wasn't exactly as easy as we would have liked, as it never is. Meaning, when the collection was sent to us, we had a checklist of the mantles. Some of the cards were missing. We were a little bit nervous and worried. It turns out they didn't send everything at once. There was a miscommunication. And so ultimately, when we got all of the cards under one roof and can give them a full evaluation, we were a little bit off at first, but we explained to them our valuation and how we came up with it. And certainly, at the very least, they would be more informed than before they found us, even if they didn't sell us the collection. It turns out, though, we did reach a deal. And even though they're not quite team sets, I would call it they're near team sets of the Yankees, all the way from, I think, the early 1950s. No 51 Bowman mantle, no 52 Topps mantle. What's shaking, Nick? No 53 Bowman color mantle, but a slew of other mantles, which we're going to show off today. Really proud that we were able to reach a deal on this. Like I said, appreciate sincerely the assist from Antonio, as I believe he had helped the gentleman both assess the cards and help them ship them properly to our offices here in Millburn, New Jersey. And so, like I said, it's not by any means a complete Yankee team set collection, but there's a great number of Yankee cards from the early 1950s all the way up until the late 1960s. And there's even some earlier cards, like there's a few 33 Goudeys, there's a few 1940 play balls, once again, of New York Yankees. So there's no Ruths in their collection, no 51 Bowman mantle, no 52 Topps mantle, no 53 Bowman color mantle, but a bunch of other goodies, including, like I said, a slew of really great mantles, a bunch of really great Berras, fun Whitey Fords, and we're going to show off some of those highlights right now here on Trading Card Therapy. Appreciate you tuning in on Instagram as well, so we'll make sure we show it off here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. So the first section of the collection, if you see something graded, it came with the collection graded. Most of the collection is ungraded. However, you can see, for whatever reason or another, a few of the cards are already graded. So here are some of, I believe these are the Mickey Mantles in the collection, but I can't guarantee that they're all of them, as we're just sorting everything in terms of the story, the video, and everything will soon be, in the next few weeks, on our blog. So if you enjoy reading stories and the history behind them about old vintage baseball card collections, who collected them, where they came from, so on and so forth, you can do that on our blog at blog.justcollect.com. So here's the first card we're showing off from the collection, a 1954 Bowman Mickey Mantle. Next up, always a fan of the real photo on the 1957 Topps Mickey Mantle. Very popular from his Triple Crown year, 1956 Topps Mickey Mantle. We just bought another collection that had a 56 Topps Mickey Mantle that was in really poor condition. So it's nice to see one of them in reasonable shape. 58 Topps Mantle. First portion of the collection I'm showing off. Yep, you guessed it, all the mantles. I've been asked this all day. Yes, I'm playing tennis afterwards. I'm not just modeling tennis wear. I'm excited. Playing against my buddy Pank. Almost beat him last week. Hoping to beat him today. 59 Topps Mickey Mantle. A little bit off center top to bottom. Still pretty nice. 1960 Topps Mickey Mantle. For a 62 in mid-grade, this card looks to me like X-Mint. It's a 5.5. Really nice eye appeal. Always love a 62 Topps Mickey Mantle. Tough to find without just accentuated corner wear on that card. Shows really badly, on the 62 wood grain border. 63 Topps Mickey Mantle. Actually had the good fortune of pulling one of these out of a pack one time. It was out of a cello pack. This was before we were running vintage breaks. It graded SGC 96, which back in the day is an SGC 9. Man, I wish I had that card. '64 Topps Mickey Mantle. Amazing that there's still collections like these out there that can still have so many Mickey Mantles. They're all ungraded or virtually all ungraded. Pretty reasonable shape. They're all real. 65 Mickey Mantle, very popular card. Even though towards the latter part of his career, just something about that color and the photo on the card really pop. If you're watching this show live or even afterwards, let me know in the chat. What's your favorite Mickey Mantle from the 50s or 60s other than the 51 Bowman and 52 Topps Mantle? Because that's kind of an easy choice because of value. For me, I'll go first and vote. 1953 Bowman color Mickey Mantle is my favorite. 67 Topps Mickey Mantle. Folks, if you're enjoying today's content, please like today's show and make sure you subscribe so you'll be notified each and every time we drop a new podcast, which is usually every Thursday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. '64 is great as well. I'm showing off a 1968 Topps Mickey Mantle. Shout out to Heritage Auctions. They just sold a PSA 10 example of a 1968 Topps Mickey Mantle, his second to last card in his career, for $515,000. Amazing. We're getting votes for the 56 Mantle, the 65. I like the 56 a lot as well. Here's a 66. Pretty nice shape. '69 yellow letter. White letter, much more difficult and more valuable, but nonetheless, I really love the 69 because it has all of Mickey's stats on the back in one convenient place to read. So before Baseball Digest, before the internet, this is what you'd read. Check that out, all of Mickey's stats. All right, some of the other mantles that are in the collection here. 53 Bowman color, sharing it with Hank Bauer and Yogi Berra. Great comment, Tom. Our very own Tom O'Connor said that his favorite mantle is the 69 because it's his final card and it brings back memories of his childhood. Listen, that's why we collect things in general, because it brings us good nostalgia or reminds us of good nostalgia. 58 Topps Mickey Mantle All-Star, even though triple printed, very popular card. 61 MVP. Love the color on these. So, folks, if you know someone who has a vintage collection, you want to connect us, very easy. Just tell them to email me directly, Leighton, Leighton, at justcollect.com. Tell them that you sent them over, and we'll let you know how we do. I'm sure they will as well. Here's a 59 Topps All-Star mantle. Really nice for a PSA 5. '60 Top Rival All-Star with Ken Boyer. And then a couple, got a World Series clutch home run and a 61 World Series slams 2 home runs. All right, so we have a few other portions of the collection, but we're not going to have time to get through everything because I want to show you another collection. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, a bunch of team cards. So I'm just going to kind of flash you these Yogi Berras. I think they're all Berras. Wow, they're all Berras. My favorite Berra, by the way, is the 52 Topps. Love that card. 53. Got a really nice group of Berras from the 50s and 60s. And then the autograph to the end. Here's a couple of the Scooter. I didn't show it off on IG, but I will this group. That's right. Therapy is in session. And just because I missed IG, I'll hit you with some Yogi Berra love. These are all from this new Yankee collection that we just bought from someone that referred them to us. This gentleman, Antonio, is from our Vintage Breaks community. We appreciate it very much. So there's hundreds of cards from the 50s and 60s, all Yankees. As I mentioned, there are a few earlier, a couple Gowdies. What's up, Dave? This I thought was cool. The Larson inscribed World Series perfect game on this 56 Topps card. It's actually his first Topps card. His first card is Bowman, which is 55, but his first Topps card is 56. Fan of that. All right. So that's the first collection today. Next up here on Trading Card Therapy, we usually have lots of topics to cover, but today it's collection oriented because we've been buying like mad people here. So the next collection, it's small but yet powerful. And we're going to start off with a non-baseball card. Check this out. You know, it's seen better days, right? It's taped. But wow, visually, this is super appealing. What we have right here is a March 1914 Spalding's official baseball guide. And as you can see here, I mean, anything and everything having to do with the game of baseball at this time, I'm actually going to bring it to my house. It's not worth a ton of money because of the condition of it, but super cool. Love the graphics. J5, right? That'd be cool on your coffee table. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do with it. So that is non-card related. Okay. So this is not everything in the collection. Was this a walk-in or no? Was this a walk-in originally? I don't remember. It was a walk-in. Yeah, it was. So it was a walk-in originally in our store, but they didn't decide that day to sell. And in fact, I probably asked J5, who's standing behind the glass here, who's our vice president of acquisitions. I asked him probably every day for 3 weeks. Hey, what's up with the? I don't want to say the card because that'll identify, the key of the collection. But nonetheless, we stayed on top of this one. We weren't sure what was going to happen. But without further ado, we're going to show off. Here's some of the 05s in the collection. Eddie Seacott, Eddie Collins, Closemouth, Tris Speaker, one of my favorites in the 05 set. All right, so there's a slew of 06s, no rare backs. Sweet Caps, mainly Piedmonts, a few Polar Bears. But if you flip it over, the Polars, how you doing? Oh, excuse me. I didn't show IG. All right. One at a time here. Oh, we'll show IG the backs. All right. Ooh. Hey, what's up? Sports Cards Live is in the house. Appreciate you joining us today. Great platform. Amazing breakers are on there. Check them out if you get a chance. So amazing right here. Look at this. Christy Mathewson, really nice shape. Beautiful Polar Bear back. These are all fresh to the hobby. But the highlight of the collection isn't even an 06, even though there's an 06 Cobb, which, of course, I'm, letting the cat out of the bag a little bit here. But with the time we have left today, I'm going to try to get through as many of these as possible. How you doing? Here's one of my favorite cards in the set. I know it's Ty Cobb, but how gorgeous is the Ty Cobb bat off shoulder? I'm not an artist. I don't pretend. But you're having a green, a purple, an orange, and a blue against this gray and the black. I mean, J5, aesthetically, that's very pleasing. You have to admit. Gorgeous polar bear back. Show our friends on IG. All right. So, checking the time here. There we go. We got a Walter Johnson portrait. Eddie Seacott. Maggie, the wrong one. Even though the Maggie portrait's still decent, she's not the error. Here is Mordecai Brown throwing Cubs on shirt. Chief Bender portrait. Oh, it's actually more Hall of Famers in this collection than I thought, J5. Put them out of order to throw me off. All right. So, what's really cool is the next. Well, actually, there's a few boxing. Oh, I just cut myself. That's crazy. Baseball cards are a dangerous, dangerous hobby. Watch out for those card savers, man. They'll cut you. Big fan of the T218s. There was a Jack Johnson there. He thought they had no value. I said, au contraire, but they do, my friend. So we added those to the collection. Love some T218s. Next cards I'm showing you are the next to last. To me, they're probably, they're the nicest shape. You're going to see what I mean by that in a minute. Maybe the coolest, but they can't overtake that. I mean, they can't. So anyway, check these out. There's only 6 cards. There's only 6 triple folders. For those of you not familiar with T202s, they're an enigma. They were folded up. They were put in tobacco. It's like God knows how any of these survived whatsoever. But check this out. Very sharp. A couple of them have some light staining. But these are beauties. Tris Speaker and Smokey Joe. I'm definitely going to keep one of these for my collection just because of the condition. Next up, Chief Bender. Once again, check out the corners on these. Yeah, there's a crease. Eye appeals off the charts. You're getting a fresh look on trading card therapy. This is why you tune in. Now, if you're not tuning in live, you could still see the video of this, the playback on our YouTube channel, Just Collect. Or, of course, if you just want to listen to the show, you can do that on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you enjoy your favorite podcasts. Beautiful. Tinkers to Evers to Chance, one of the most famous combinations in baseball history, immortalized right here on a gorgeous tobacco card from yesteryear. Just check out the corners, the clarity. These are real beauties. Make sure you tell your friends. This is the kind of stuff you're going to see on Trading Card Therapy. Mordecai Brown, Hall of Famer. Fred Clark, Hall of Famer. The color on these is outstanding. Some of these will go up for sale at some point. I don't know which ones. Look at this. You got on both ends Eddie Collins and Home Run Baker, Hall of Famers. Eddie Collins easily safe in the middle. These are just beauties. All right. Before I show you the last card, if I'm not mistaken, this family got these cards because they helped a woman clean out her husband's shed 25, 30 years ago in a little town in New Jersey. They didn't know what they were going to find. Woman needed help. Said, hey, you find some stuff, you can keep it. This is what they found. But check this out. I haven't had one of these cards, I would say at least a half dozen years, maybe longer. I've only had a couple in my lifetime. Look at this. Not a single other T227's with it. Low grade, but great eye appeal. A T227 Ty Cobb. These things are mega rare and go for big money even in low grades, which was actually one of the stories we did on our blog. When folks find baseball cards, they often think that if they're in bad condition, they just can't be worth anything. It's not true. Make sure you check the sheds, you check the walls, you check underneath the bed. Look at that. Tyrus Raymond Cobb, Gorgeous rarity. T227 baseball. There's only a few in the baseball set. Chief Bender is one of them. Ty Cobb, of course, is the main one. And with that story and this collection, we are going to wrap up our 35th episode of Trading Card Therapy. This is the doctor signing off. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you next week.